Hey guys, so I love to share that there's all sorts, all forms of yoga, but I wanted to talk about one of the deeper, even symbolic parts of a yoga practice. And yes, today I am talking about that mat practice that we all think of when we think of yoga, right? But some of the symbolic aspects that we can be practicing on the mat, which is part of what makes yoga so transformative, so connecting and something that can help us so much and really change our days and our ways with ourselves and in our moments is that when we're on that mat, we're intended to be in a different pace, maybe more tuned into our own pace, for instance. And we get invited to move into a space with our bodies, with ourselves, that includes more like non judgment. So we become more of a listener, more of an observer with ourselves, and we bring in an aspect and a practice of non judgment and even self love in all that we're doing on that mat. So we get to practice that symbolically on that mat. We also get to practice going at a slower pace, perhaps, if that feels like the right pace for us, and even getting into what is the right pace for you, whether it's during the exercises, and yes, this translates into during your life. And part of what can be helpful on the mat is for a lot of us, it's really like medicine these days, especially since so many of us are busy, so hustle bustle, buzzing around, right? Is to really go more slowly, to let our time in the mat be a time to do the opposite, to go a lot more slowly, to do a lot more pauses, to even include stillness, right? And that's why that's such a remedy of its own. But that symbolic practice of pausing before you move on, taking an integrating breath, checking out how we're feeling at this point, and even noticing the changes we've made. These are some of the things we get to practice on that mat during those exercises, which is part of why it changes us so much and changes our day. So it's really a place to practice a way of being with ourselves, a way of being in the moment. And yes, we're talking about presence and mindfulness and getting into just more of a meditative mode. And absolutely, all of this is intended to carry off the mat and into our day. And now, just how we're holding ourselves, how we're being with ourselves, how we're being in the moment, how we're using our breath more, right? Remembering to relax, remembering to go at our own pace, remembering to honor what's true for us, remembering to pause as needed, right? Refresh, reset, and yeah, even knowing when it's time to rest. So, all these things we get to practice on the mat, and it's definitely a symbolic practice for life and giving us a chance to retrain, re-choose, reconnect with a way of being that's more connected, right? And remember that word yoga really just means connection. And that's part of how we can create that connection through time with something like the exercises. And especially when we really let ourselves do it in a way that's just right for us and have that room to take those pauses. Let it be just right for you. And yeah, let it go into your day. So, some more of the magic with the yoga and meditation. And thanks for listening, guys. Namaste.